Welcome back to Plot Core. The movie opens with chaos. A woman named Miranda is driving while arguing with her teenage daughter. She's so distracted that she completely ignores the road ahead, and in the next second, her car slams into another vehicle. Panicked and frustrated, Miranda steps out and immediately expects the worst. She knows she can't afford repairs, lawsuits, or insurance trouble. But what happens next completely shocks her. The other driver doesn't yell. He doesn't ask for money. He doesn't even look angry. Instead, he calmly offers to fix her car for free. There's just one condition. She has to invite him to her house for a glass of water. Miranda hesitates. Her daughter Missy instantly senses danger. Who agrees to something like that? But Miranda is a widow, raising 3 kids alone, barely surviving. If this accident turns into a financial nightmare, her family is done. So, against her instincts, she agrees. They arrive at Miranda's modest home, and the man introduces himself. His name is Ray Johnson. However, Missy still had lingering fears about Ray's identity. While they were talking, she noticed a strange symbol on Ray's truck, so she asked about it without hesitation. What's the V stand for? Ray told her it stands for Vanderbilt. I teach engineering up there. Immediately after, Missy rushed back into the house without saying a word. While Ray was fixing the car, she looked up his information online. It turned out Ray really hadn't lied. He was not only a university professor, but also an internationally renowned engineer. Only then did the mother and daughter finally let their guard down. But just as they were discussing what to have for dinner, Miranda was surprised to discover a strange phenomenon. Her son, Greg, seemed to be getting along very harmoniously with this stranger. Since her husband passed away unexpectedly, she had rarely seen Greg do anything with such enthusiasm. This stirred an indescribable emotion in Miranda's heart. But things didn't go as planned. Just as they fixed the car, it suddenly started raining heavily. Seeing this, Miranda invited Ray inside to take shelter. After entering the house, Ray realized their life was even harder than he had imagined. Because they had no money to hire workers to repair the house, the roof would leak every time it rained. Everyone in the family had to grab pots and pans to catch the water everywhere. What was even more heart-wrenching was that the children might have to go hungry all night, and everyone felt very depressed about their current life. To encourage the children to maintain a positive attitude toward life, Ray took a magnet from the refrigerator and took out a paperclip and placed it on the table, slowly moving the magnet close to the paperclip. He told the children that everyone has powerful potential, and this energy is like a magnetic field. Although we can't see it, it truly exists. Then playfully, the children are saying, "Okay, so this is me thinking about pizza." Like when the cheese is all melted and gooey, pepperoni and sausage and stuffed crust. Just as they were talking and laughing, there was a sudden rapid knock on the door. Miranda opened the door to find a delivery guy with the pizza everyone liked. The children all showed shocked expressions upon hearing this. Miranda looked at Ray incredulously, but Ray smiled and explained that this was just the result of everyone's wishes coming true and had nothing to do with him. Little did they know, someone else had actually ordered the takeout. But regardless, tonight's dinner was finally settled. To thank Ray for his generosity, Miranda invited him to have dinner with her family. Strangely, during the meal, Ray seemed to hit it off with everyone immediately, talking freely and not acting like a stranger at all. He seemed to know the family situation like the back of his hand. What surprised them even more was the indescribable tacit understanding he had with Miranda. After dinner, Miranda politely walked Ray to the door and expressed her gratitude to him again and said, "It was a pleasure running into you." Ray replied, "You have quite a family. Thanks for inviting." At this moment, Ray seemed to have something to say but stopped himself. Because the timing was just not good, Miranda's children were shouting and fighting. After wishing each other good night, Ray prepared to drive back to the motel in town. But he stopped when passing the mailbox at the gate. Gazing at the mailbox from his car, and after hesitating again and again, he picked up a file folder from the car. He wrote something on it and then braved the heavy rain to put it into that mailbox. He thought this was the most appropriate way to handle the matter. But unexpectedly, late at night, a sudden typhoon swept through the entire town. The next morning, Ray planned to leave, but because he was worried, he came to Miranda's house again, only to find that the mailbox had indeed been blown away by the strong wind. Helpless, he had to find Miranda again, wanting to explain that matter face to face. But obviously, he had already missed the best opportunity. Because last night's typhoon was too fierce, the roof of their kitchen was smashed open by a fallen tree. Now, Miranda was completely desperate about her life. They needed to spend a whopping $10,000 in repair costs, and they couldn't come up with this money right now. The family was essentially about to be homeless. To help Miranda pull herself together, Ray had to put that matter aside for now. He once again actively offered to help fix the roof, requiring Miranda to pay only $500 for materials. Miranda asked why he was helping her. Ray said, "Because I can." To settle the children who had nowhere to go, Miranda decided to send them to stay at their grandma's house for a while. After they left, Ray moved tools from his truck and prepared to start the repair work. He first moved the wet furniture out of the house to dry and cleared the broken branches inside. Everything seemed to be progressing smoothly, but just as he was clearing the broken wood on the roof, a luxury car drove slowly from not far away. Ray didn't notice it at all. Then a man got out of the car. He was Miranda's boss, Tucker, and also one of her suitors. Since Miranda's husband passed away, he had been silently taking care of their family. The pizza last night was actually ordered by him for the children. At first, Tucker thought Ray was a repairman hired by Miranda. But when he learned that Ray was just helping for free, he immediately became wary of him. Both men chatted, expressing sympathy for Miranda's struggles and praising her character without hesitation. But just after Miranda sent the children to her mother-in-law Bobby's house and settled them down, Bobby advised her to sell the house to relieve the financial pressure. Miranda refused without a second thought because this house was the labor of love she and her husband had poured themselves into. It held too many memories, and no matter how difficult life became, she would grit her teeth and hold on. Fortunately, she soon received good news from Ray. The house repair work was progressing smoothly and would be completely finished in 2 days. This small comfort brought a trace of warmth to Miranda's heart. She began to develop a subtle affection for this optimistic and capable man. She couldn't help but open her heart to him, pouring out the difficulties and hardships of her life because she could always find her husband's shadow in Ray from time to time. Finally, under Ray's unremitting efforts and careful work, the small house took on a new look, and the hole in the roof was designed into a skylight. When the children stepped into the room for the first time, they were all stunned by this ingenious design. Just as Ray was about to leave, Miranda chased after him. She handed the $500 for materials to Ray and expressed her gratitude for his help. But at the same time, she still had great confusion in her heart. She still doesn't understand why Ray helped her family. Ray thought this would be the best time to confess the truth to Miranda. But just as he was about to speak, Bobby suddenly walked out of the house. It turned out Tucker had called to invite them to the opening ceremony of his new restaurant. Miranda went up to pursue the question just now after hanging up the phone. But seeing Bobby standing aside, refusing to leave, Ray swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. However, it was precisely because of this decision that he would pay a painful price in the future. Miranda also thought that the life ahead could be a little calmer, but she didn't expect that. While Tucker appeared to be inviting everyone to the opening ceremony, he was really using the moment to propose, and he proposed to her. Perhaps she didn't want her boss to lose face in front of everyone, or perhaps the huge pressure of life forced her to compromise with reality. She said yes. After all, at her age, with 3 children in town, how could she possibly expect to find love again? She was already satisfied if she could let the children live a stable life. but the children seemed surprised by her decision. Moreover, after the dinner, Grandma suggested that Miranda go to Tucker's house for the night. Seeing that their mother didn't object, the children couldn't say anything more. However, early the next morning, seeing that Miranda still hadn't returned, Greg threw things at home to vent his emotions. This scene happened to be seen by Ray, who was helping with work. Seeing Greg running into the distance alone, Ray put down his tools and followed him to the riverside. After some conversation, he learned that Greg was angry because his invention didn't succeed. Then Greg showed Ray the automatic chicken feeder he had invented. Innocently, he wanted to sell this invention patent to subsidize the family so his mother wouldn't have to marry his boss, Tucker. Ray was a bit surprised after hearing this and didn't understand why Greg had this idea. Greg said she doesn't love him. Ray asked, "Are you sure about that?" Greg said, "Yeah, not like Dad." To help Greg cheer up, Ray, as a top engineer, utilized his expert professional knowledge and soon helped him fix the machine. And the machine worked. But just as he solved Greg's problem, Missy came looking for him. It turned out she was worrying about her birthday party because her birthday was on the same day as the school beauty. The campus beauty's father was the richest man in town, so her birthday party would surely be far more extravagant. Because of that, she worried that her own party would end up feeling deserted. After hearing this, Ray asked her a simple question. 200 Instagram friends or 5 real ones? She replied, 5 real ones. Ray asked, "Are they coming here tomorrow?" She said, "Yup," Ray told her. "Okay, then focus on having a good time with them." Missy felt much better after hearing his advice, and the smile on her face began to brighten. Just as they were talking, Miranda appeared in front of them, driving a brand new luxury car. It turned out that after spending time together the night before, Tucker prepared a big gift for Miranda early in the morning. But Miranda not only didn't feel happy, she also felt very guilty inside. She wanted to refuse, but didn't know how to explain it. However, seeing Ray again, Miranda's face was full of embarrassment. At this time, Missy also sensed their subtle relationship. To leave them space to be alone, she hurriedly found an excuse to leave. But the more it was like this, the more awkward the scene appeared. They seemed to have something to say, but no one spoke. Then Ray said he was preparing to leave after finishing the last bit of work. Watching his receding back, Miranda finally came back to her senses. Ray was leaving forever, and once he went, she might never see him again. She wanted to stop him. The words sat heavy in her chest, begging to be spoken. But she didn't say them. She had no right to ask him to stay, so instead, she looked at him and said the only thing she could, "Just come to the party." Ray paused and said, "All right." And just like that, he kept going. But their ambiguous relationship was seen by Bobby inside the house. She was worried that Miranda would fall deeper and deeper, so she kindly advised Miranda, hoping she would cut off ties with Ray early. Because Bobby was also a widow, she knew deeply how difficult it was for a single mother. Miranda thought this matter was over. But at the birthday party the next day, just as everyone was immersed in happiness, Bobby suddenly rushed out and asked Miranda, "Could I talk to you inside for a moment?" Miranda said, "Sure." After Miranda returned to the room, Bobby showed her a newspaper which published a patent for a green energy recovery system. This was the project Miranda's husband had researched before he died. Immediately, Bobby was certain that someone had stolen her son's idea. Miranda didn't believe it at first, but when Bobby opened the newspaper, she discovered that the person applying for the patent was Ray. It wasn't until this moment that she began to grow suspicious of Ray's sudden appearance. Grabbing the newspaper, she stormed out, determined to confront Ray face to face and demand an explanation. Seeing this, Ray wanted to explain everything, but the emotional Miranda said nothing and slapped him directly. But Ray still told Miranda the ins and outs of the matter vividly. He met Miranda's husband by chance 5 years ago. They quickly became close friends who talked about everything and cooperated to develop an energy recovery system together. But just as they were about to overcome the last difficulty, Miranda's husband unfortunately died in a plane crash. Years later, Ray had overcome the difficulty and the patent was successfully approved. He wanted to tell Miranda the good news in person. But the first time he came, only her son Greg was at home, so Ray had to return to the hotel. Coincidentally, he was rear-ended by Miranda on the way back. When he returned here again, he wanted to hand over the patent materials to Miranda directly. But seeing the family's situation, Ray couldn't bear to uncover their scars again. He finally decided to help repair the car first and then find a suitable opportunity to explain things clearly. But until he left, he didn't find this opportunity. So when he left, he put the materials in Miranda's mailbox. But he didn't expect the mailbox to be blown away by the typhoon that night. Although Ray explained repeatedly, Miranda, who was still in a fit of anger, couldn't accept the scar of her husband's death being ripped open again. Therefore, they finally parted on bad terms and returned to their respective lives. Until one day, when the family drove past a pond, Greg found the mailbox that had been blown away by the wind. Soon, everyone worked together to fish it out. When Miranda opened it, she indeed found the invention patent inside. Only at this moment did Miranda realize she had really wronged Ray. It turned out he not only didn't steal her husband's invention, but also gave them all the patent bonuses. Not long after, Miranda received a package containing a new invention patent and a check for the bonus. Miranda was shocked. She immediately checked the bills and calculated carefully. This money could not only solve the current debts, but also ensure they had no worries about food and clothing in the future. Immediately after, Miranda held a family meeting. She announced the good news to the children and also expressed that it was wrong for her to accept Tucker's proposal without everyone's consent. The children were also very sensible, expressing that they would always support their mother's choice and hoped she could find true happiness. Not long after, Miranda made a brave decision. She summoned up the courage to push open Tucker's door, then walked firmly to Tucker and placed the engagement ring and car keys on the desk. Seeing this, Tucker also understood everything. After breaking up with Tucker, Miranda traveled a long way to Ray's estate. She rang the doorbell full of anticipation, but when she saw a woman open the door, her heart sank to the bottom. However, unexpectedly, that woman recognized Miranda at a glance. She asked her, "Are you Miranda?" Miranda said, "Yes, but how did you know me?" The woman told her that she was Ray's sister, Jennifer. Jennifer told Miranda she had heard so much about her from her brother Ray and told Miranda that he was probably knocking on her door right now. After learning the situation, Miranda quickly drove back. At the same time, Ray did the same thing. To meet faster, they communicated by phone and decided to meet at a motel halfway. Just like this, they drove toward each other while chatting on the phone. Finally, a few hours later, they saw each other at the destination. Since then, they formally established a relationship. Not long after, Miranda's family moved into Ray's estate, starting their happy and carefree life. And the moral of the story is, if a stranger fixes your car for free, orders pizza, repairs your roof, solves your kids' problems, and still asks for nothing, don't slap him before checking the mailbox. If you like the explanation, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.